Easter tree.
I'm not ready for Christmas. I walked into the Bible bookstore the other day to pick up stuff for the church, and they had Christmas music on, and I was like, I'm not ready for this.
I don't like starting celebrating Christmas, before Thanksgiving. So
I don't either, but I came home and the tree was up, and and the stockings were hung, so I didn't have a say in it.
Christmas ambushed Jared when he walked in the door.
Ho, ho, ho!
So for me, it's mostly about hating to go up in the attic and dragging the tree up and down, and boxing it up is such a struggle. So it's like, just leave it out and we'll, make it work other ways. It'll be fine.
We left
our extra room in your house. Just drag it there every year.
Yep.
You put it there every year, you know where it's going to be.
Make it a dirty laundry tree and just throw your dirty laundry on the tree. Just pick it off, take it to the washer.
I'm just not a big fan of Christmas.
I mean, that's your own problem.
Gee, that's your own problem. I like Christmas, Joe.
I like
I'd rather
Christmas
have
movies, but I don't like Christmas music.
You don't like Christmas
I'd rather
music?
I would have hate Christmas music.
What's wrong? We got a couple Scrooges here.
Well, I'd rather have Thanksgiving.
Well, Joe, I mean, just because you don't have to not like Christmas. It doesn't if you like Christmas, it doesn't cancel Thanksgiving.
What's this?
And I'm getting to the point where I hate Thanksgiving too because it's so commercialized.
What are you, a millennial? You got to pick one or the other all the time. I mean, what is this world we live in?
What are they commercializing Thanksgiving?
I mean, if it was up to me, I'd have Halloween 24/7, 365.
Joe, they skip Thanksgiving for Christmas. How do they commercialize Thanksgiving?
Dude, because Black Friday starts on Thursday.
Yeah, he's right about that.
Well, Black Friday is like a holiday unto itself.
That's a solid point.
They're not commercializing Thanksgiving. They're getting rid of Thanksgiving.
Yeah, pretty much.
Very true point.
Pretty soon, everybody will work on Thanksgiving because it won't be a government holiday. Everybody will have Black Friday off instead.
No. If there's one thing Americans will fight for, it's days off.
Yes, we should get both days.
They have Black Friday off instead.
Hey, I don't care if there's a holiday in there.
Hey, here's a way to jumpstart the economy. Give everybody a stimulus package. Make sure it gets there before Black Friday, and then give all of America the day off.
Jeez.
Joe Collier, 2020.
Oh man.
Will you be old enough in 2020?
I'll break all the rules. I don't follow the rules.
That's what you think.
Just like Trump.
Yeah, I was about to say, we got a president doesn't now. It's not working out so great.
Obama was born in Kenya, so I'm just kidding. I don't really believe that.
Well, if you haven't left already, welcome to episode number 49 of the MOG Podcast. So we was episode number 49 of the Monsters of Geek podcast. We apparently got a couple people that hate Christmas, and got some political talk going on. So you are at the right podcast, I promise. So we got we got everybody in the house today. We got the whole crew.
Been a while since we've all been here.
Yeah,
we've got Andrew, Daniel, Joe, and Jared all in the house today. So we got a pretty good topic to talk about today. But before we start, if this is your first episode, we don't talk about politics. We all love Christmas. And first thing we do is we talk about what we've been up to. So we're just a group of guys. We're all friends here, and we don't get to communicate as much as we like. So every week we talk about what we've been up to, what movies, what video games, what comics we've been reading, and just what geeky culture we've been consuming. So Andrew, we'll start with you. What have you been up to lately, man?
I just saw Thor.
You did, and who else saw Thor? Jared and Joe saw Thor. Okay.
Yep.
Okay, cool. So there's a lot of us. Do you want to have a special Thor topic, and I can talk about Mario now? And we'll talk about Thor, like.
Let's wait on Thor. Yeah, let's wait on Thor, and we'll do try to do a special Thor.
Hey, what jersey is Daniel wearing? Just noticed he's wearing a jersey.
Peyton Manning.
Peyton Manning.
Respect. All right. Cool.
I didn't even have to see it. I knew it.
So the other thing I've been doing is playing Mario, which is, I don't know. I guess we are talking. Can I spoil our topic? Is that cool? Since
yeah.
No.
It'll be in
I
the.
just did anyway. So,
It'll be in so.
I beat Mario Odyssey, and it is my third favorite Mario game ever. I think is where I put it on the list. I was accused. I shared this with a few of my other friends, and they accused me of having new game glasses. I'm like, no, it's actually that good. It's got a lot of one more thing, one more, kind of like for Rocket League for me's had that one more game feel to it forever. Mario does that, except it's with the moons. So it's, let me get one more moon. I'll get one more moon. Friend of mine who's also playing it said he did that on a work night and stayed up too late because he thought he was playing for 15 minutes and he was not. So it's really good. It's got good hooks. The platforming is good. Did you guys play Sunshine?
Mm-hmm.
You remember the really cool platforming sections that a lot of times would take away the flood, right? That's what that was called.
Yeah.
That were really awesome, and to me, they were really awesome and kind of like throwbacks to the core of what Mario is, which is just difficult platforming. It has a lot of levels that have that feel to them. They don't take away your abilities necessarily like the Sunshine ones did. Some of them do, but they are really good. I thought they were neat. You have like the rotating platforms and all that stuff. Good boss fights. The end is fantastic. It has a good music. There's a song that starts playing at the very end with words. It's really cool. Stop me when I have rambled on too long about how good Mario Odyssey is. But I don't want to spoil what the end is because it was really neat. I was really digging it. But overall, it's just excellent.
I've played about 2.5 to 3 hours of it at this point. I really like it. It made the list. It didn't make as high as Andrew because I haven't finished it, but it did make my list. I think it's the natural progression of what we want or a natural sequel to Mario 64. It's very much laid out to kind of the same way. It's definitely something that we wanted for years. How about Mario 64? How about Mario 64 follow up? And this is kind of it. It does have a lot of. It has a little bit of Galaxy in it as well, some of the level structure. They do some cool stuff. I don't know if anybody, I don't want to spoil it. Actually, I think me and Andrew's the only one who got to switch, so it doesn't matter. There's they bring in the old 8-bit stuff. I don't know if you guys seen the previews, but there's parts where you go into a warp zone and it goes on flat on a wall and you turn into 8-bit Mario. And so you do the level for the 8-bit Mario, which is really cool. It probably had some with Cappy you can take over certain things, and in the first stage, which is basically kind of like a tutorial but not a tutorial, it's definitely not your original Nintendo tutorial where they tend to go overboard on trying to explain everything and what you can do. This is kind of like, okay, so here's the basics, go have fun. And within the first 10 minutes, you take over a dinosaur, which is like a T-Rex. You find out you can take control of a chomper, the ball and chain chomper. I mean, and it's just a lot of geek out moments right off. And I was just like, oh, whoa. And Shauna started playing it before I did. And she was over there just going, wow, whoa, I can't believe I just did that type of thing. So it's a very cool game. It brings another element to Mario. You always wonder when Nintendo is going to start rehashing Mario a little bit. And even when they do kind of do a rehash, it's always something new. And so this is definitely going to be a game of the year candidate once I finish it. But, man, it's pretty neat, and it's really, really fun. So thumbs up to Nintendo. Is that all you want to say about that, Andrew?
So one criticism I saw someone make, and well, I won't go into what it was, but it was that it was too easy, and in a lot of ways it is. But I got to it, as is tradition with Mario these days. The difficulty is saved for the end, for like the post game. Mm-hmm. So you go through, and you're not extremely challenged to find enough moons to move to the next world, to find enough moons to move to the next world, on and on. But once you get to like the last world, it's like oh my God, that's where all the difficulty was. There were a couple of things that challenges I met. I was like, I can't do this right now. I don't have the temperament. Like, I would get mad or whatever. And so I would just leave. I'll come back and do that another time or not. We'll see. And then one other thing is I haven't gotten all the moons in any one world yet because I didn't want to, exhaust myself in one world. I wanted to kind of keep moving, keep it fresh as I went through instead of getting bogged down somewhere, which would be, Danny, I'm sure you can relate to this. What tends to happen when you're trophy hunting, even though there are no trophies, like you do still tend to bog yourself down in a world if you're not careful. Yeah. So I didn't want to do that. But now that I've beaten it, I've been going back and trying to finish out one world. And yesterday I was like, I've got to just be like 4 or 5 away from being done with all the moons in this one world. So I went looking and found a list. The game gives you a list after you reach a certain point. I can't remember how that exactly works. And so I went looking and started counting, and I was still missing 20 moons in that one world. And I thought I was almost done. I was like, I thought I had maybe 4 or 5. No, 20. So now I think I am down to 4 or 5 now in that world. But like, it's kind of like Zelda was, but with Mario. So there's all these places to go and all these things to explore, all these things to see. But every time you go somewhere, every time you find something, it's rewarding. It's not just big for the sake of big, like a No Man's Sky apparently was. It's big and dense. So there's stuff at every corner. Every time you climb a mountain, you get to the top of something, you do whatever. There's something there. There's a reward, whether it's a view or a moon or a character to talk to, whatever it is. It's really good.
I think it's weird that, and we'll probably have a discussion at some point with gaming difficulty, but I think it's weird within the last 2 weeks how polarizing it's been reading how hard Cuphead articles are and then how easy Mario articles are. It's been really, really kind of strange. And it kind of, you have 2 extremes for 2 totally different, games, but there's a lot of complaint. I mean, it's kind of easy, but it's not super easy. It's challenging, I think. And if as I progress, as Andrew's kind of said, once you kind of get up into the higher levels, that's how Mario is. I mean, Mario's always been like that. They kind of, very fairly, not unfairly, kind of ramp up the difficulty as you kind of go through. So I'm digging it. I'm glad Andrew dig it. Shauna's digging it. I mean, it seems like another Mario classic. And a couple years ago, we're talking about the demise of Nintendo. Now they have one of the best systems on the market today and 2 of the best games of the year by far, which is pretty nuts. So, Daniel, what have you been up to, man?
I've been pretty busy, actually. Told you guys I had to have surgery a couple of weeks ago, and everything went real good. It was just real minor, but I had to take two weeks off from work, so I got to goof off a lot. And I was telling the guys before we started, I got to catch up on all the Marvel movies that I've missed. I hadn't seen Hulk, Ant-Man, or Spider-Man, so I got to watch all 3 of those. I played a lot of video games. I finally got to beat the Uncharted standalone game. Okay. The Lost Legacy, and it was great. It was really good. It was a lot of fun. Played some other little things. Been playing. I actually been playing Madden of all things here just the last week. And I picked up. I've gotten on a sports game kick, so I picked up the show 17. A couple weeks ago, I've been playing that. I've been playing Madden here the last couple of weeks, here this week. So I've been having a lot of fun here recently, but I've got a baby coming in 2 weeks, so all that fun's going to be cut off very soon. So I'm getting in all I can.
What out of the Marvel movies you watched, we kind of talked about Ant-Man before we went on the air, and how everybody's kind of surprised at how good it was. What did you think about Ant-Man as a whole?
I liked it. I mean, I was surprised that it was pretty good. They kind of were going for a heist movie thing, and I think it worked. Mm-hmm. I thought the cast was good. I mean, the villain was kind of cookie cutter, not really, didn't make any sense.
Right.
I mean, I didn't really care about, but, Paul Rudd was good. Evangeline Lilly was really good. Michael Douglas was all good. I mean, the core three that they had, I thought all did a good job. And, it was a lot of fun. I was surprised that it was a good movie.
That's where I think Marvel movies suffer is their villains, especially for their guys that you don't really – even Iron Man movies had sucky villains. I mean, because Iron Man just doesn't have great villains. So I felt the same way with Ant-Man, but I thought that they did a good job of kind of wrapping around all of Ant-Man's legacy because you got the Scott Lang character with Paul Rudd. You've got Hank Pym with Douglas. They even tied in Janet Van Dyne with, as far as how they're going to tie that in. I'm pretty stoked about Ant-Man and Wasp. I think that's going to be really cool because I thought those two. Sometimes you get, I think it's good, between like the male and the female. You got to have some chemistry, and I thought they had really good chemistry, Rudd and Lily, that you could. I would watch them together in a movie, and so
I think so too.
Yeah, I thought they did pretty good. What do you think about Spider-Man? I haven't seen it yet. I just want to see.
I liked it. I really liked it. I was telling Jared and I were talking beforehand about how I got to watch I watched some of the older Spider-Mans with Tobey Maguire, recently, and I was kind of like taken back by how kind of campy they were. And I didn't remember that. And Spider-Man, the newest Spider-Man, is very grounded. I mean, it's like it's funny. It's got some good moments in it, but it was really good. I mean, what's his name? Who's the actor?
Oh man, what is his name?
Tom something.
Keep talking, I'll find out.
Oh, kill me. He did a good job. He did a really good job. I thought Michael Keaton was very good. I mean, he did a good.
Man, Michael Keaton in that movie. You should remind me how good he was.
Yeah, he was. He was very good. It was a good movie. It was a fun movie, and I thought they did a good job with it. And I thought, let's see what part that really stood out to me, but I can't remember which part it was.
Tom Holland,
yeah. But it was good, and I look forward to seeing that character more. I hope that he continues to stay in the MCU because he's fun. He's a good character.
Daniel, what do you think about? Because one of the things I liked about the Tobey Maguire movies was that you saw him kind of progress into adulthood. How'd they do the high school stuff? Like, is it? Did you enjoy it being back in high school? Would you rather see? Because we've seen it a lot. We'll just be quite honest. I mean, we've seen Spider-Man a lot in high school. Was there any part of you that wanted to? Because that's one of my I want to see an older Peter Parker. Because when I started reading Spider-Man, he was married, he was a journalist, or he was shooting photos for Daily Bugle. So I like to see Spider-Man kind of progress, at least in the college where he goes to the Empire State and all that stuff. Did you find that you would want him more of an older Parker, or did you think it's good to start where they started at?
No, I thought it was good where they started, and of course, it was great that they did not do any origin story.
Right.
They did. They don't even. They barely even. I mean, it's almost like an Easter egg. But it was. I really like that they started him in high school, and that's a key part of the movie. Theme of the movie is, he's too young to be doing what he's doing. Right. I mean, he's still just a kid. And I thought it worked. I thought it worked really well.
Okay.
With what Iron Man was doing, with what the Avengers are doing, and I thought it worked. I thought it worked really well. So, maybe even if we've seen Peter Parker in high school a lot, the theme around him, like the story they told around him being in high school, was a lot different than they were able to tell a real.
And the smart aleck Peter Parker that you love, Aaron. That's one thing that he does really well.
Awesome. I love my smart aleck Peter Parker.
So
that's how he stops. That's how he stops the invasion. Just being a smart aleck. That's how good he is.
So, Aaron, you haven't seen it?
I haven't seen it yet.
That's right, because Meredith was.
We just never seen it.
Right. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so we're. I was hoping it'd be on Amazon or something or Netflix by now, but it's not. So hopefully
I think it's Xfinity on demand, maybe.
Well, we got standard Xfinity. Yeah, we don't watch enough TV
you
to do high definition.
To do that, but I mean, if you could do it, you could rent it.
Joe, what have you been up to, man?
What's up, man?
Besides looking really creepy in the camera right
now. Well, I about went on a rant and sold my Madden game almost.
Okay, let's talk about Madden for a second because obviously Daniel's really digging it. Went over there. Joe bought it a couple days ago. It was late last week, and he texted me like a day after saying, "I'm getting rid of Madden." So what has changed that you did an about face and is going to keep John Madden's video game?
Well, first, let me tell the story about why I almost got rid of it.
Okay.
All right, I was the Browns. I always picked the Browns because I always want to rebuild. And I simulated the first season, and got to the off season, signed Sheldon Richardson, and then drafted a really good draft class, and made it all the way to the Super Bowl with the Browns. I lost maybe 4 games, and I got beat by 3 points by the Cowboys in the Super Bowl. And I was like, man, I can't wait to get an off season and better my team. And then all of a sudden, it says you've been fired. I'm like, really?
Well, to take up for the game, that's a very Browns thing to do, right?
I guess.
I mean, you're right. It's just simulating real life.
Well, what happened?
I got super.
I was gonna say, Joe, what happened?
Go ahead,
was they didn't send your papers to the league to rehire you, so it automatically.
The pigeon they sent the papers with didn't get there in time. It was 2 months late.
Well, I even the first draft I had, I even sent my brother a text message. I was like, dude, check out this late round. It was the 5th round gym that I got. It was a receiver that was 6'4", 6'5", and he was 80 overall.
And then I prompted I was like, what, are you going to murder somebody?
So, but yeah, I got fired. So I was done with it. Absolutely done with it. I was trying to sell it before I tried to trade it in. And then I got bored the other day. I was like, man, I'm going to try it again. So once again, pick the Browns, and I'm not fired. I'm back at it. I'm enjoying it. Instead of, it's the total opposite of last year where I played a lot of offensive series. I really like the defense on this one. Extremely. I really do. It feels like it doesn't feel like the offense is overpowered anymore like it used to be.
Gotcha.
I enjoy it. Playing defense, I hardly ever play offensive possessions unless I really need to. And now I'm on my 5th. This is my 5th season, I think. And I'm 17-0 in the AFC Championship game. And it's just super fun. I don't know why it changed my mind so much, but I started playing it and really enjoyed it.
Nice. Is there anything super different about it? I guess, Daniel, you can jump in on it too. I played last year. That was the first Madden I bought that I didn't turn around and immediately just get rid of. Last year I liked it a lot. I thought the offense was good. I thought the blocking – I just played offense. I don't really like playing defense. I like playing offense. But I thought the offense was a lot more intuitive. I thought that the catching stuff that they developed the year before was much better than in last year's. But what about this year? Is there anything different that somebody needs to know about as far as making it better?
If I'm not mistaken, I don't think this was in last year's game. I might be wrong, though. The lob passes, you can hold down L1, and, it gives you a better opportunity to throw those corner passes in the end zone where your receiver would go up and get them. I don't know if that was in last year's game. I don't remember it.
No, it was not in last year.
You can hold the L1 trigger and throw them up higher, for a jump ball, or throw it down low where only he could get it. I think that's kind of a cool dynamic. But I'm enjoying it.
Wait, hold on. So that kind of mechanic has kind of always been in Madden, hasn't it? You hold, except it was just you hold the button that you're throwing with longer. to throw it harder and
yeah, and then it's just an extra thing.
It's like just adding more. Okay, because I haven't played Madden, so I was just asking.
You can still like barely press it and lob it, but you can do both, like hold L1 and lob it and move the trigger up, and it'll be a lob that's going to end up like way up high.
Okay,
over
gotcha.
Up on
so that only DeAndre Hopkins could catch it.
Yeah,
okay,
exactly.
Perfect.
Or David Njoku, or however you say his name.
Because you play with the Browns all the time.
Gotcha. Joe, I don't know if you played it, but I really like the story mode they did this year. I played through it.
I've not played
the last couple of days. It was really cool. I mean, it was really neat. You just it's a story where you just follow this kid who's going to the draft, and I thought it was really neat. It took me about 3 or 4 hours. It wasn't real long.
Kind of like the NBA type of thing, the 2K.
Yeah, but it was cool. It was cool.
I've been thinking about playing it, but I've been having a really fun time with franchise mode. And another reason why I almost got rid of it is I was playing Ultimate Team, and I've been playing the ranked matches, and I'm just tired of people like cheating. Like, I know it's glitches and stuff, and it's in the game, and people use them, but it's just not fun when they do their middle linebackers where they can't be blocked or pretty much zip through the line. It's not fun.
When
took
did
a lot of it away?
When did playing online ever be fun? Like, if you really think about it, especially
I enjoyed.
now.
Hey, last year's the draft champion, I think is what it was called.
Oh yeah, that was.
I really enjoyed that.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And this year it's built into the Ultimate Team. Like, you can draft an Ultimate Team, and it's just, I don't know, it just wasn't fun when I started playing it. So I might try it again too. But I'm just having a really good time in franchise mode right now.
All right, well, Madden, a hit with the Monsters of Geek crew here. And Jared, what have you been up to, man?
Well, one thing I did go see Thor, like Andrew and Joe, and I will say that the villain in this one was better than some of the ones in the past.
Man, that's what I've heard too. That this has been like one of the better rounded out Marvel villains.
An actually interesting one, yeah.
Yeah, it was really interesting, and also got a Raspberry Pi 3, so I set up RetroPie on it and been messing around with that.
That's cool.
Now, did you get the package to build it, or was it already built when you got it?
Nope, I got the one of the kids or the IT guy at work had bought some, and they were giving them out through a program that we had run, and he bought them off some of the people, and he wasn't doing anything with them, so I told him I was looking for one and got one for like $15.
There you go.
So I ordered a case and got an extra power cord, so it has an on-off switch. But I really enjoy it. It's been pretty fun going through some of the old games that I know Daniel hates.
Jared, have you done like any systems that maybe you didn't get a chance to play as a kid? Like I'm a big TurboGrafx guy, so I've got some TurboGrafx games on the Retro Freak that I've bought over the years. Have you done any of that?
I haven't really sat down and played any yet. I went through some of I'll have to look up some of the good games, because I did go through some of the ROMs, just kind of looking around to see what was like top rated games and good to play, but I hadn't got any of them yet. I did get like one of the Metal Slug games.
Mm-hmm.
Metal Slug is
awesome.
Yeah, I gotta install it and see if it'll work. Because I mean, you can play all the way like Game Boy Advanced.
Mm-hmm.
All up through PlayStation 1 on it, Dreamcast. There's a lot of stuff on there.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy what you can emulate now, as far as, even PlayStation 1, GameCube. I mean, there's some pretty good stuff out there that you can emulate. I do recommend if you get a chance to kind of the cool thing about like stuff like the Retro Freak and then the Raspberry Pi stuff is that they allow you to play a lot of games that never came over here. So I definitely recommend, if you get a Raspberry Pi or a Retro Freak or Retron 5 or something, that you go out and just like Super Famicom games, the Famicom games, and some of the TurboGrafx games that never came over here. Because there's I think there's like over 100 RPGs that never came over here that came out on the Super Famicom. And obviously, some of those don't have translation patches, but the cool thing about Raspberry Pi or some of those other systems is you can find those translation patches and attach them to the files. And you can get English translation, stuff like Terranigma, Secret of Mana 3, stuff like that, which is pretty cool.
I did get Super Fire Pro Wrestling. That was only in Japan. So.
Yep. Yeah, Fire Pro didn't come over here till the Game Boy Advance, if I'm not mistaken, or was it PS1?
Game Boy Advance.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep.
Yeah. So awesome. You'll have to keep us. Well, I'm sure we'll text back. I have to keep us. Definitely something where.
I'm still learning, setting some stuff up on it, but I hooked my PlayStation 3 controller up to it. So it took a little bit to get all that situated. But
how does it feel playing with a modern controller for some of those old games? It always felt weird to me.
Playing the Super Nintendo games is really easy. Because, it's pretty much the same layout.
Right.
You think about everything kind of followed that Super Nintendo model after that. Some of those Sega games are a little weird because don't have the 3-button
right
for a while until they came out with the 6-button controller. But some of those are a little weird, and trying to compare some of the games like the Aladdin game for Sega and the Aladdin game for Super Nintendo.
Oh no, we're not ready in our podcasting to get into that argument yet. That may dissolve the podcast. The last episode of the podcast will end with an argument over which one of those games is better.
I can't wait to talk about that.
All right, guys. Yeah, so awesome. I want to say that I actually got a chance to watch Wonder Woman a couple weeks ago. Man, I wish every DC movie was like Wonder Woman. Man, that movie's really good. It's probably one of the best origin story movies that I've watched because we've seen enough of these superhero movies that the origin story stuff is kind of boring. Like they kind of take the same kind of formulaic kind of view, but
more like origin story, right?
Oh, there you go, origin story.
Come on, you're dad. You're supposed to be.
It's a good one. I want to steal that from you. But I thought it was really good. I thought they dealt with the origin story really well. I love the stuff that they did on Themyscira. I thought that was really cool. The girl that plays Wonder Woman is fantastic.
Excuse me. You mean the woman that plays Wonder Woman?
That's what I said. The woman that plays Wonder Woman.
No, you say girl. You say girl.
Oh, I'm sorry. The woman that plays Wonder Woman. Gal Gadot. There you go. She's amazing. Like, she is definitely Wonder Woman. And I got the feeling, like, from Superman, when Superman and Batman came out, when she showed up and that big guitar lick and everything kind of went with it, I was like, I think, well, she's got the pose down. Now let's see. And the movie kind of showed that she's got everything down. Like, everything about Diana is exactly like. I thought she did a real good job of taking the comic book Wonder Woman and kind of merging it with, like, the Justice League animated series Wonder Woman. I thought that was really, really good. There was actually natural humor in it. I didn't feel like any of the humor was forced. It wasn't very dark. It had different locales, and it was very. The final battle was cool. The effects, some of the effects were so over the top that, like, Marvel movies do a pretty good job with effects, even though they're over the top to make it look as real as possible. I felt like they kind of over stylized some of the fight scenes a little bit, but I thought it was a very, very good movie, and I hope that they take a lot of what they did with Wonder Woman and do it in Justice League, because I think if they do that, which I don't have much hope for that movie, but I think that if they continue on the path that they did with Wonder Woman, I think Warner Bros. Can turn it around, because it was very much a different origin type of story. They did a really good job with the time period. I thought they did a good job of surrounding Wonder Woman with a lot of really cool characters, kind of her band of kind of her like her army on Earth. It was pretty cool. But it was nice, man. I was very, very, I know a lot of people said they liked it, but I kind of came in a little bit, we'll see how good it is. But it's good. And don't go into it comparing to the rest of the DC Universe movies, because it's really good. It's really a different type of movie that they've made. So I thought it was really good.
But also don't
Not
go
seen it
into
yet.
it expecting it to break a whole lot of superhero movie tropes.
No, I mean, yeah.
It really,
I mean,
in
it's
the
still
second
there.
half, falls into all those bad habits.
Sure.
all over again.
It does.
That's
It
not to say
does.
it's not good, because I really liked it, but the last half of it, it's like, guys, you were so close. You almost had it.
Yeah, I mean, it's a
I
good
finally watched
superhero
Batman
movie.
versus Superman.
And you liked it, didn't you?
I did. I didn't watch the PG-13 version. I watched the rated R version. And from what I understand, the R version filled in a lot of plot holes that were kind of missing. There's still some plot holes. Has everybody seen it?
Yeah, I have. I think everybody has at this point.
I
I'm not
didn't
gonna
watch it, and I probably won't.
I'm not.
Well, like,
Self-preservation, Jared.
Yeah, I've seen part. Lucy watched Wonder Woman, so I saw part of it, but I just didn't have a big interest after all the horrible reviews and everything.
so really, the one big plot hole that bothered me the most is how did Lex know both Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne were Superman and Batman?
I don't know. That's never explained.
It's never explained, and he invites Bruce Wayne to this like little gala type of thing, and it's like and Bruce and Kent kind of meet, and it's like, oh, Bruce Wayne and Clark Kent, and it's just like, okay, like how does he know who they are?
I don't know.
Like that's the only thing that really bothered me. But I thought it was pretty good. The fight scenes were a little slow, but I enjoyed it.
Oh, nice. You're the one in, you're the one person I've asked that actually seen it. You're the one.
Period.
That's the one. Warner Brothers needs to put you on the back of the Blu-ray.
I mean, I'm not saying it was the greatest superhero movie ever or anything. I'm just saying that I kind of enjoyed it.
What a quote for the back of the box. I kind of enjoyed it.
Well, I went in thinking a couple people from work made me watch it. And I went thinking that I would absolutely just hate it, that I didn't want to watch it, and it changed my mind. I enjoyed it a little bit. It was good. It was good to see Wonder Woman on screen. I think that was what was one of the big points of it. Ben Affleck didn't play it bad.
No, Ben Affleck
Batman
was actually one of the better parts of it.
And I enjoyed watching Superman die. So,
Jeez.
spoiler alert! Sorry, spoiler alert. If you didn't know, but yeah,
Don't
I
like
enjoyed watching
Christmas,
Superman.
like to watch Superman die. Boy, you're getting us all.
Oh, shut up! You enjoyed it too. You like.
I kind of did
watching
not like
die.
Superman. I don't like Superman.
Don't sit there and judge me.
All right. So, with all this being said, I'm glad everybody's kind of got the chance to watch some stuff, play some stuff. Glad to have Daniel back and healthy. So glad everything worked out there. So we got a really good subject. And I almost skipped all this to go into the subject, but I wanted to catch up with everybody. So we've been talking about some new formats for the podcast and stuff. And, if, you're used to, well, I guess you're not really used to because I don't get it up every week. But we're going to go like a bi-weekly type of schedule. It gives us a little bit more room to be able to maybe do some longer episodes, some special episodes, kind of fill in the space between these episodes and let kind of some of these episodes kind of stand on their own. And so we decided that that's what we was going to do. And so the first topic I thought would be really good to kind of kick off the new format and the new schedule would be with Mario Odyssey came out last week, and I thought it would be really cool for us to do an official Monsters of Geek Super Mario Super Top 10, and we are going to rank. This will be the official Monsters of Geek list for the top 10 Mario games of all time.
And none of us know what it is except for you, right?
Yeah, I've got the final list. I held it from you guys because I wanted to get some surprises here. So let's talk about the rules of the list first. So we did our top 10. The rules were you didn't have to finish the game, but you had to play enough of it to kind of know you liked it. As far as Mario games, none of the ancillary titles or spinoffs kind of went off as far as like the sports games, the Mario parties, stuff in that type of genre for Mario did not count in this. It's just the core kind of Mario. When I talk about core Mario, we're talking about the platforming ones, the RPG ones, the more of the core Mario ones. So it goes from anything from the original Super Mario type of style to Mario RPG to Mario Advance, the Nintendo 64, Mario 64 type. So it has to be a core Mario game. So what we did was they all sent in our top 10. Daniel and Joe. Daniel did 7. Joe did 5, which is fine. I'm not going to ask you to rank games you ain't played. So
I did 6.
Or 6. I'm sorry. Joe did 6. I'm sorry. So the scoring went like this. If you sent in the top 10, which was me, Jared, and Andrew, you basically got number 1 got 10 points. Number 2 got 9 points all the way down to 1, or number 10 would get 1 point. For Daniel and Joe, it goes from 7 to 1 and then 6 and 1. So that's how I kind of did the points. So they all sent we all did our list, and I just got about 9:45, got done with adding everything up as far as points wise, and we have a top 10. We do have some tie. We have one big tie that we have to kind of figure out. Well, we'll kind of discuss where they go, but we'll go over the list of I'll let everybody kind of talk if you have them in front. If you don't, I've got them here. We'll talk about the personal list first and kind of go from there. Now, some of these lists are, obviously they're going to be kind of redundant. I mean, all of us has got, the most of the core ones on there, but there are some different ones on there. I would say everyone on here has at least one different one than, except for maybe Joe. I think, I'm sorry, he does have one different one on there than everybody else did. So I say all of us has got a kind of a unique list as far as 1 or 2 that maybe people don't think about as far as a really good Mario game.
In case everybody doesn't know, the Mario math is how Joe learned. So I bet
I learned how to paint with Mario Paint too.
I forgot about that one. Jeez.
And I learned how to play music too with Mario Paint. Right, you can play music on that one.
Well, Mario Paint would have been a spin-off. So sorry, guys. Now, before we get hateful emails, which I know we won't, but Yoshi's Island, I left up to anybody. I didn't put it on I didn't make anybody's list, so I guess we all have the same opinion that it's not really a Mario game, even though it's Super Mario World 2. It's not really Super Mario World 2.
I've never played it, so.
I thought it was Robin that played it.
Robin loves it. I've never played it.
Let me ask you this: was Luigi Mansion counted on this one?
No, because it doesn't have Mario in it.
Even less.
Okay. Well, I'm just making sure. I am just making sure.
Yeah. So let's say this.
Golly, people.
If you've
hostility toward the Yeti.
Well, you asked the dumb question.
Hey, the only dumb question is one that's not asked.
Not this time.
Listen, Joe, you started all this negativity
technically,
Christmas.
Technically, there's only a few Mario games. There's the rest of them are like Mario Bros, so it includes Luigi. So I guess Luigi could be included in this if you really wanted to. But that's just
quit trying to argue. No, it's fine.
He's just making stuff up, grasping at straws.
So let's just say this: we all know that the people that's played Yoshi's Island knows it is a classic and maybe one of the, if not the best spinoff from the Mario series. So let's just get that out of the way. So we'll start. Let's see, Andrew, go ahead. If you got your list pulled up there, go ahead and talk. Go ahead and run down your list there.
Don't, but I can.
Oh, I can read it here. That's fine.
Find it. No, I got it.
Okay.
Okay. So from number 10, I started with, and number 10 was a struggle because I couldn't figure out. I only found 9 that were like must-haves on there. So I was like, what should go on here? So I struggled between Mario Land, which I have nostalgia for, and Mario Wii, which I also have some nostalgia for. New Super Mario Wii. But I ended up going with just New Super Mario Brothers because I thought it was good. So that's number 10. Number 9 is not a Mario game, but you guys included it, so it's Super Mario Brothers 2.
It is a Mario game, but go ahead.
It's not. And it especially wasn't in Japan, where it did not even have the characters in it. But that's,
I'll make my argument here in a minute. Why?
I'm kidding. I like 2. I'm just giving you a hard time. Number 8, and I was kind of sad it landed this low, but that's just how good the Mario series is. Was Super Mario Sunshine, which I mostly liked for those platforming sections that I discussed earlier. Number 7, and this was controversial with my other friends when I shared this, is Mario 3 on the NES. It landed at 7. You guys didn't bat me down for that, so maybe you agree. I don't know. I doubt it. Number 6 was Mario 3D Land on the 3DS, which was fan-freaking-tastic. Number 5, Mario Galaxy. Number 4, Mario 64. Number 3, Mario Odyssey. Number 2, Mario Galaxy 2. And number 1 is the only perfect game in existence, Super Mario World.
All right, Jared, go ahead with your top 10.
I do not have my list in front of me.
Okay, I'll read it. So from 10 to 1, Jared's got. You want me? I mean, I can read it for you.
Just read one, and then if I have a comment, I'll make a comment on it.
Okay. Number 10 on the list is Mario and Luigi Partners in Time for the DS.
I didn't know that counted.
Yeah,
RPGs counted.
Yeah.
Crap, I forgot that. I'm sorry. My whole list is crap now.
We have to read the
podcast is ruined.
Bowser's Inside Stories, like top 5.
This whole episode is off now. It's not a true list.
Well, I put it in the email, so I can't.
It's done. I know it's my fault. It's my fault.
But it was a fun game, especially with like the baby Marios running around. But it was also a very hard game. I made it to the boss, but never could make it past it. I even watched videos on it, and still, I don't know.
Couldn't do
it. It was hard. No, but it was fun.
Number 9, we got New Super Mario Brothers for the Wii.
I really enjoyed that. The 4-player aspect of that was really good.
Number 8, we got Super Paper Mario, which is for the 64, right? Is that the one for the 64?
No, that was actually the one for the Wii.
Oh, the Wii. Okay, I'm sorry. There's so many Paper Marios, and they're so different titles, I can't remember which one was on what. Okay, let me switch that on my list. And so we got Super Paper Mario for the Wii.
Yep. They titled that kind of weird, so.
Yeah, because I thought for some reason that's the 64 one because it's just Super Paper Mario.
Yeah,
but I think the 64 one was just Paper Mario.
Paper Mario, okay. And then the 1,000 Year Door was on GameCube. And
I remember 1,000 Year Door.
Yeah, and I think that was the only one. Well, I played 1,000 Year Door, and I played all of them, but that one just kind of sticks out because it, just kind of added so much more to it.
Number 7 is Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah.
Number 5, we've got Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. We've got I'm sorry, that was number 6. I'm sorry. Number 5 was Mario Galaxy 2 for the Wii.
There was so many Mario games that it was hard to rank them all. and that one could have ended up at 10. I mean, it was good, but it was kind of all over the place.
Number 4 was Super Mario 64 for the N64. Number 3 is a Super Mario Brothers 3 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Number 2 was Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System.
Yeah, that's probably one of my favorite. I still enjoy going through that one.
I haven't played it. Probably need to put that on the list because it seems like everybody really likes it.
Yeah, it's very good.
Number 1 for Jared was Mario Galaxy for the Wii.
Yeah, I think it was just so special at the time. It took a lot of stuff from Sunshine and Mario 64 and kind of threw a lot of it in there.
All right, so let me talk about my list since we're the three that did all the top 10. So let me. So you're looking at my number 10 was Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U. I really liked that game. I thought the multiplayer was really good in it as well. I got number 9 Super Mario 64 for the Nintendo 64. I know that I think 64 was a great tech demo. Like it was a good showing of what the Nintendo 64 would do. Still holds up, one of the few 64 games I think that still hold up today. But I didn't. It's not something that sticks out to me. Maybe because I didn't have a 64, but I played enough of it that it should be on the list. It's just not. I just don't think it's impressive as some people think it is. Number 3 is Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Classic. Number 7 is Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch. I've played enough of it to know that it's just really good. I think we talked about it enough at the first one. It was just a really good game. Number 6 is Super Mario 3D Land. I'm with Andrew on that. It was the first 3DS game I beat when I had my 3DS, and it is just superb how they mix in the 2D and the 3D gameplay. It was just really good. And one of the few games that I actually played with the 3D on because I think it added to the game, which was really cool. Number 5 was Super Mario Brothers 2. That game, of course, Andrew alluded to it, was Doki Doki Panic in Japan. They brought it over, put Mario in it. I thought it was a very good game. I don't know. There's an argument to be made. It may not be a Mario game, but I thought that how they kind of brought it in with the Mario. For spoilers here, if you've never finished it, Mario's asleep and kind of having a dream, so it kind of explained why it was different than the rest of the Marios. But I also think it doesn't get as much credit for some of the level design for the new ones. Because a lot of the level designs are kind of vertical, and that game was made to be more of a vertical game instead of just a regular kind of platformer from left to right.
Because it wasn't a Mario game. It was all a dream. That's such a cop-out.
Jeez. I thought they did a good job of tying it in, and I think it did play because it did have Mario on it, was because, I think it did have a lot more fingerprints on future games because of the way that there's hey, maybe we could make a Mario level that's more vertical, and especially some of the more modern games I think takes a lot from Super Mario Brothers.
It was all a dream. I used to pull up turnip greens, save princess from big talking lizards. The blue fire at me.
All right, number 4. This is. And I'm sure me and Daniel, when we get to his list, will gush about this game, so I won't talk about it too much. But this is one of my favorite Mario games of all time. It's definitely worth a number 5. Number 4 is Super Mario Land 2: The 6 Golden Coins for the Game Boy. That is such a good Mario game. It is so good. And Daniel, I'll talk about it with you when we get to your list because it's on yours too. Number 3, Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii. Number 2, Super Mario Brothers 3 for the Nintendo Entertainment System. And my number 1, much like Andrew, I don't think there's any other choice for me, was Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System. Even though Super Mario Brothers 3 holds a little bit more nostalgia value for me because I played when I was a kid. It was one of the first big games I played with, one of the first games I talked to my friends about as far as the secrets. Super Mario World is just, it's Mario 3 on steroids. It's just such a good game, and it kind of established every Mario game after that as far as like the kind of the humor that went with it, and then also the personality of some of those characters kind of built from that Super Mario World game. So it was just a really good game. Daniel, we'll go with you next, man. I don't know if you have your list pulled up, but I've got it here as well.
I do have that. So I do have a confession. I haven't played a lot of Mario games in my life, though my wife has. So she helped me rank a lot of these because she's very good at Mario and I'm not so great at it. But my wife on my list. So we only got to 7. So starting at number 7, Mario 64. Mostly because I never beat it, but I played I was like at you, Aaron. I played it enough to know that it should be on the list. But I never played it all that much. Got new Super Mario Brothers for both the DS and Wii. I'm like Jared. I really enjoyed that. The 4-player in the Wii version. It was just a really cool way to do that game. For number 5, I've got the original Super Mario Brothers at NES. Number 4, Super Mario Land 2: The 6 Golden Coins.
It's so good, man. It's so good.
It really is. And I think that's the only Mario game that I know I've beaten. Like I played the whole way through. And it was for the original Game Boy. I don't think I had a whole lot of Game Boy games back as a kid, but that was one of them, and that was definitely the best one that I had.
Man, it was just something about that game, man. It was so, because if you played the first one on the Game Boy, it didn't seem like a Mario game. Like it just didn't. I think me and Travis was talking. He that wrote a lot in the blog as well. He said, it was almost like, hey, let's put a Mario game out and let's see what it looks like. But Mario, I think that game really took advantage of everything. Like, it really pushed the Game Boy because it looked like Mario 3, like a better version of Mario 3, really.
Yeah, it looked really good.
And the worlds were so different and cool, man. Oh, man, it was so good. Yeah.
And trivia, it was the first game to have Wario.
It was first game to have Wario. Yep.
So yeah, it was cool. It was a really cool game, and I remember I played that a lot. I played it a whole lot.
Yeah, it was when I beat that game. I thought I ruled the world because it was such a good game. Dan, you're still there?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Sorry. Number 3, Super Mario RPG for Super Nintendo. Number 2, 1 and 2. Which one should be between World and 3, but ultimately decided that Super Mario Brothers 3 for the Nintendo should be number 2, and Super Mario World should be number 1. So that was my list.
All right, Joe, you got your list pulled up, man?
No, but
Okay,
I think I can remember it.
Well, I've got it here, so I'll just read it so you know. But then just stop me if you want to talk about it. Super Mario 64. Joe had 6, so at number 6 is Super Mario 64 for the Nintendo 64. At number 5, we got Super Mario Brothers, the original, for the Nintendo Entertainment System. We've got, now this is Joe's one that nobody else put on here, and that's the new Super Mario Brothers 2 for the 3DS. So we had Super Mario Land for the 3DS or Super Mario 3D Land for the 3DS. Joe, you picked the more of the side-scroller kind of 2D type of feel to it. Why did you put that one on the list for?
I just really enjoyed playing it. If I'm not mistaken, it was the first one to have the raccoon suit back in it.
I don't know. I didn't play it.
I think 3D Land.
I think 3D Land was had the raccoon suit.
Oh well, but I did enjoy it. I enjoyed playing it.
On his third on the list, Super Mario Brothers 2 for the NES. Second is Super Mario Brothers 3 for the NES, and just like a lot of us, the Super Mario World for the Super NES is number 1 on Joe's list. So what we did there was we took everything and I assigned some points to it and added them up. And here is the official Super Mario Super Top 10 list for the Monsters of Geek podcast. Now there is a tie at a certain spot, and so we're gonna kind of discuss where these games need to go. But top 5 is pretty set, and I think we'll kind of be happy with the top 5. So first of all, we'll start with number 10. We'll start at the bottom, and I'm so glad this made the list because I was tallying up the points, and I thought it's not going to make the list. It's going to be so sad this game is not going to make the list. Super Mario Land 2 for the Game Boy comes in at number 10. I could quit on the list there. I love that game. I'm so glad it got on the list. You guys don't understand. I just love that game so much. So that comes in at number 10.
Man, it's worth playing. I mean, for any
it's so
Mario
good,
fan, it's worth playing. Yeah, it
and
really
it's we talk about how weird it is. There's a land where you go in a tree, and we talk about the vertical kind of stuff. A lot of Super Mario 2 stuff there as far as going vertical. There's a pumpkin town, like a scary town that's really cool. The machine that you go into, the Mario machine that I totally forgot about until I started reading it. Was super, super cool. It's just a level design was really cool. But it was still a traditional Mario in the sense you had the star, you had the fireballs, and you had the mushroom. That's it. That's all you had. There was no other, as far as I can remember, there's no other power-up. So I thought it was a really good way in taking traditional Mario and kind of putting a really good spin on it and really a creative spin on it because I thought it was really good. So that comes in at number 10. I was super stoked about that. Number 12, number 12. Super Mario Land 2 got 11 points to make it number 10. With 12 points at number 9 is Super Mario Brothers for the Nintendo Entertainment System. Obviously the old school one. Super Mario Odyssey comes in. Okay, so here's the tie, guys. So this is where we have to discuss where we're going to stack these as far as point-wise. So 3 games got 12 points. Super Mario Brothers 2 for the NES, Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch, and Super Mario Brothers for the NES. So we need to have a discussion on where we're going to rank these. So this is going to be 7, 9, and 8. Let's see, 7, 8, 9. For
again, 2 Odyssey.
3 choices are.
Yeah, 3 choices are Super Mario Brothers 2 for the NES, Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch, and Super Mario Brothers for Nintendo Entertainment System. So which one of those games should be number 9 on our list?
Okay, let me make a compelling argument for Odyssey real quick.
Sure, go ahead.
Number 1, only 2 of the 5 of us have played it. So, and it still ranked where it ranked versus these other two that everyone else has played. Number two, of the two of us that have played it, only one of us has beaten it. So you don't even know how good it is yet, even though you do know that it's good. And number three, it actually is better than the other two.
Wow. Okay.
So that's the reason it should be at number 9.
I would probably
that's the reason it should be at number 9.
I would put 2 at number 9.
Okay. Why?
I agree. 2's 9.
Well, I mean, just because
it's not a Mario game.
Well,
it is a Mario game,
but
I'm kidding. I promise. I think it's a Mario game.
Yeah, I mean, I just I don't know. I just think out of the games there, I'd say Odyssey is probably better than it, and I think Super Mario 1's better than it too. I mean, I had a hard time. There are so many Mario games out there. It was impossible to remember how many of them I had played. I think I could have ranked like 15 or 16 of them.
Yeah, there was a lot on my list. I was like, oh, yeah, I played that for a little bit.
I had a wiki article to find them all.
And that's, I did too. And that's why like 2 didn't even make my list because, a lot of those other good games on there. I really love 2, but I would probably rank it at 9. That's
so far we would have Odyssey at 7.
I would say, or 7 or 8. I mean, I really like the original. I think the original holds up, and you can pick it up and play it anytime.
The original didn't make my list. I don't think it.
I think the OG should be at number 7.
Okay.
And Odyssey should be at number 8.
So I think that 2 should be at 8 and the original should be at 9. So I think we should compromise, put the original at 8, put Odyssey at 7, and put 2 at 9.
Daniel, what do you think?
Which one was on more list? I know Odyssey just came out, and all but 2 of us
only
have a Switch. Yeah, only 2. So Odyssey should automatically be at 8, and OG should be at 7 since it was on our list.
Wrong.
Daniel, what do you say about the rankings of these?
I agree with 2 at 9. I think that's appropriate.
Okay.
I think, of course, the only thing I would say is I'd be shocked if Super Mario Brothers. I'm shocked that the original is not higher than 7.
Okay.
Personally, but I guess if I was going to say it, I would prefer to see the original at 7.
So here's my question to you guys who are supporting the original. What does the original do better than any other Mario game?
I don't think it does anything better, but I can pick it up. I can hand it to somebody today, and they can still pick up and play.
That's not the argument.
No, well, that's what the argument was. That is the argument.
List. It's not a who can play it easiest list.
I've been playing it since I was 4 years old. I mean,
it's got staying power.
It's a classic, and it
make it
holds
better. What does it do better?
What got every one of us playing Mario? What got every one of us playing Mario?
That's not.
What got every one of us playing video games?
Make it better.
It does. It's still really good.
No, it doesn't. What makes it better?
Is this a list of?
Can I?
Wait,
can I
stop.
Make my
is this
argument?
a list
no.
of?
Can I make my argument?
No,
Joe,
is this
let Andrew
a list?
make an argument. Let Andrew make an argument.
So what makes it better? Level design, controls. Controls are sticky on.
No,
yes, they are.
No.
They're sticky. The jump is.
You just suck at it, Andrew.
I'm better than you.
Probably, but that's not saying much. I think we've established
the level design. What makes a Mario game? The jumping, the platforming, the level design, the secrets to be found. It's great. It doesn't do anything better than any new Mario.
But is this a list of like the best Mario games ever, or a list of which one is more nostalgia feel and is better for us?
Better.
Not overall.
Well,
not
first
overall.
of all,
that's exactly what the list is.
If we're talking about better, Super Mario Land 2 should be above every one of them. So let's just be 100% honest. I know some of you heathens
then you should have ranked it that way. That's what we said.
Did. It was number 4 in
Mario
mine.
game.
It was number 4 in mine.
Okay.
No, I'm just joking. But even though I do believe it is better than all those games, except maybe Odyssey. So here's what I'm thinking. I think Odyssey is great. I would probably rank the original above Odyssey, Odyssey in the middle, and 2 below Odyssey. That's just my personal opinion. So you would put the original at 7, Odyssey at 8, and Super Mario 2 at 9. That's my personal opinion. I love Odyssey, and maybe after I finish it, it'll probably be above that. But as of right now, like, I still think Super Mario is a great game. And as far as does it do anything better? Probably not. But
absolutely,
it's still
not.
a really, really good game. And
but it's like comparing apples and oranges.
No, it's not. They're all Mario games.
They're all Mario games, yeah. But one was made in the 80s, and this one was made in 2017.
Okay.
I think with the system that was out, I think the Mario.
That's just a justification. That's not a good reason.
But the original Mario is still a really good game.
What? Because you say it's not a good reason. It's not a good reason.
No, because it's not a reason why it's better.
I'm gonna
side for a reason.
I'm gonna side with Andrew for just a minute. I mean, just on his point, because like we said before, just because the game is still good doesn't necessarily make it better, right? I mean, just because it still holds up, it doesn't make it better,
right?
They'll just put them at a tie for 7 and screw 8.
But I still don't know. I still don't know if it should be.
Such a defeatist attitude.
Should be higher, but I still feel that just because a game is, we weren't asked to rank nostalgia, right? I mean, we were asked to rank.
But let's just be quite honest. There is some nostalgia in this list. I think it's totally, you can't take it completely out.
But there's a reason, because there's a reason most of us put Mario World high or at the top.
Sure.
And there's a reason it's going to be number 1. Oh my God!
Argument for
just made an incredible catch. I'm sorry. There's a reason World is where it is. It's because it's level design, it's secrets, it's platforming, it's control scheme. The controls don't feel sticky. All of that is top of the line. Like even now, not even Odyssey, not even Galaxy 2, none of them beat it. They don't, because it's fantastic. Mario Brothers does not do that.
Is there an argument to be made for Mario Brothers when Nintendo tried to recreate that feeling and that gameplay in a more modern look with the new Super Mario Brothers? Is that not? Do you think there's an argument there that them trying to recreate, because that was very much a recreation of the original, or trying to get the original?
It was. But even when they tried to recreate it, you know what they did? They added extra abilities and they added extra things to make it better.
They were still trying to capture that gameplay. They were still trying to capture that.
They were trying to capture the gameplay, but again, it was the same gameplay that World had. And what World does better is abilities and secrets and all that stuff. So, again, none of that makes Brothers better than the newer ones.
So I think we can all agree that Super Mario Brothers 2 is 9, right? I think we can all pretty much say it's 9. Okay.
Brothers is the foundation. I'm not trying to poo on it. I think it's it's a good game, but it doesn't, because it's the foundation, doesn't make it better. It has to have something that makes it better, and it doesn't.
So I think we're going to. I just feel like. Go ahead, Joe.
I just feel like we're holding the limitations of the game console to have standard.
I can agree with that.
No,
I think so.
That's not what I'm doing. It's not what I'm doing.
Well, I'm not saying that's what you're doing, but I think we are measuring that.
That's what we're doing, and who's we? I'm the only one arguing against it. Like, it's not what I'm doing.
No, I think that. So I think we should go Odyssey at 7, original at 8. And 2 at 9. I think we all agree that 9 is probably 2, or 2 is.
I'm gonna pull an Andrew and say, just remember, we have Winter Soldier out of the top 5 in the comic book movie.
And we're still wrong about that too.
Yeah, we are.
So I can't let this one slide.
All right, so we got Super Mario Land 2 at number 10. We have Super Mario Brothers 2 at number 9. We have Super Mario Brothers at 8.
Wait.
Yes.
Did you say? I thought you said Super Mario Brothers 2 twice.
No. Well, I did. Super Mario Land 2 for the Game Boy at number 10.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I didn't hear Land. Yeah. Sorry.
That's okay. And then you got Super Mario Brothers 2 for NES. Then we have at at number 9. Number 8, we have the original Super Mario Brothers. And number 7, we have Super Mario Odyssey. Is that where everybody's following?
Put an asterisk beside of it.
Jeez.
But it's like Barry Bonds.
So you
It's
saying
on
that the Mario
steroids.
games on steroids? Okay, I got you. Okay.
Exactly. It's like Super Mario Brothers is Hank Aaron because he didn't do steroids, and Odyssey's Barry Bonds right now, and he beat his record. So
Wow, you took that way
Put an
far,
asterisk
man.
beside
No, because Hank Aaron was better than Bonds, so that would make Mario Odyssey Hank Aaron.
Well, I won't cut this conversation off.
Oh,
now.
I got you.
I won't cut this conversation
no
off
comeback
now.
at all. Complete silence. I got you. Perfect.
Oh, jeez.
Moving
Okay,
on.
so
Number 6 is
number 6 is Super Mario RPG. That had only 2 people that put it on there, but it was ranked super, super high. Jared and Daniel was the only 2 that had it on there, but they had ranked it pretty high. I think, Jared, you had it at 2, and Daniel, you had it at 3. So it was enough to get in there. Yep.
Andrew, would it have made your list if you'd remembered about the RPGs?
I didn't play. The only RPG ones
Okay.
that I've played are Bowser's Inside Story. Shoot. One of the DS ones. And then I don't know what Shauna's laughing at.
She's laughing at you, actually. She said, you're being really funny tonight.
Oh. The only RPG ones I've played, one of the DS ones, Bowser's Inside Story, called, and then the one that most recently came out for 3DS that I also can't remember the name of.
Andrew, did you play Superstar Saga?
So, but it wouldn't. Anyway, the answer is no. It wouldn't have because I didn't play it.
Okay. All right, so that's number 6. Number 5, getting into the heavy hitters here, Super Mario Galaxy 2, which made it on Andrew and Jared's list pretty high, so they had 15 points. Mario RPG had 14, so we're starting to get pretty close. Near the top, it gets really close. So 1 point separating 6 and 5. Number 4 is the one that kind of separated from everybody, and that's Mario 64 at number 4. My wife snubbed her nose up at me when I said it made 4 and that it made 9 on my list. She was very unhappy with my list because of that. She loves Mario 64. She's very, very good at it. But it comes in at number 4 with 18 points.
I can't believe you called it a tech demo. I bit my tongue when you said that. A tech demo.
Listen. If we're gonna rag, if we're gonna look at Mario as far as the original Mario, like we did, as far as like not necessarily in a time capsule, but everything, I just think that there's more games that did it much better in 64.
Well, I agree with
just
that,
my
and
personal
that's
opinion.
why I didn't put it
I
up
think
there. But at 9, it's not at 9.
Well, for me it was, because I think it's a very good tech demo of what that 64 could do. And then at number 3 with 24 points is Super Mario Galaxy. So that one clicked in at number 3. Number 2 and number 1 were separated by 1 point. Number 2 was Super Mario Brothers 3 at 32 points. Super Mario, and then of course Super Mario World at Super Nintendo for 33 points. That game either came in, or that game had 3 first place votes and 1 2, I think, coming in. So, but no, I'm sorry, Jared had it at 5. Jared had it at 5. I'm sorry. So,
okay.
but
I was gonna say somebody didn't have it on their list. What? Okay.
Yeah, Jared had it at 5. So. All right, so that's our top 10. So number 1, we have Super Mario World for the Super Nintendo. Super Mario Brothers 3 at number 2 with 32 points. World had 33 to top it. Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii had 24. Super Mario 64 had 18 points at number 4. Number 5. Number 4. Super Mario Galaxy had 24 points at 3. Super Mario 64 had 18 for 4th place. Rounding out the top 5, you've got Super Mario Galaxy 2 for the Wii with 15 points. Super Mario RPG at 6 at 14. And then we decided to go Mario Odyssey at 7. Super Mario Brothers, the original, at 8. And then Super Mario Brothers 2 at number 9. And then, of course, to round out the top 10, Super Mario Land 2 for the Game Boy. Now, the other ones that received votes, and there was some that Super Mario Land 3D for the 3DS was very close to Andrew. I mean, you both put it pretty high at 10 points.
I'm assuming it's another one of those that was a victim of not being played by many people.
That would be it. Because if you guys have played, I think it would be in a lot of other lists. But it was a really good game. So you also had New Super Mario Brothers for the Wii, had 5 points. Super Mario Paper Mario had 3 points for Jared. Super Mario Sunshine had 3 points. New Super Mario Brothers 2 for the 3DS. Joe had that ranked pretty high at 3 points. Mario and Luigi Partners in Time had 1 point. In Super Mario 3D World, I'd put that in my top 10 for 1 point. So guys, this is the first time that you have heard this list. I held it from you guys because I wanted to kind of be a surprise. Is there anything besides the 7, 8, 9 that we had the discussion about? Is there anything else on here that you felt like maybe we should have been a little bit higher? Do you think the list ended up being pretty good?
Well, Jared almost ruined the list.
Why's that?
Because if Super Mario World wouldn't have been number 1, it would just been burnt.
If I would have grown up with a Super Nintendo, I'd have probably ranked it higher.
Well, don't hold the limitations of your growing up, Jared, in their perspective.
I do think it's it is a really good game, and I could have ranked it higher, but it's hard with when you've played so many of them.
I think that this list is pretty good. I think that one of the games. I do wish that Super Mario Land 3D would have got in somehow. I know I'm glad Super Mario Land 2 got in, but Super Mario Land 3D is really good. It's a really good game. I thought it was a really good kind of mashup between the 2D and 3D. I thought the boss battles was really cool with it. Really wish that would have slid in at number 10 and still kind of kept Super Mario Land 2 in there, but I'm so stoked that Super Mario Land 2 got in there. And I think, to be quite honest, I think that game was better than the original Mario Brothers. I think it's better than Mario Brothers 2. I think it should have been at number 8, but I'm glad it got on the list because it's a Mario game that doesn't get talked about enough, and it is a super, super good Mario game. Anything else on the list that kind of jumped out at you guys?
I'm surprised. I am surprised that the original isn't higher. I know we're supposed to rank the top games, but for me, that's the first video game I ever played. Mm-hmm. I'm sure it was the same way for a lot of you guys. Yeah. I'm not. I know I put World at 1. I personally put World at 1 and 3 at 2, but I'm a little surprised that 3 didn't end up as number 1. As good as that game is,
a lot of the lists rank it that way.
Yeah,
with 3, it kind of expanded. I think with like the raccoon suit and all the different things you could do. It kind of gave a lot of different elements. But then Super Mario World just kept expanding upon it. So
I think Super Mario World, and I want to jump on Andrew's argument here. I think it just did everything better than Super Mario World. Super Mario Brothers 3 did. I think as far as important for the series, I think Super Mario Brothers 3 is the most important Mario game they've ever put out, just bar none. I think it created. Mario was super popular. Mario 2 was a good game, but obviously
64 is more important.
No, Andrew. Yeah. No. We're not gonna have that argument tonight.
What is
it? They're both. Listen, I'm not. It's not one I'm going to be passionate about because I think it's razor thin close versus the other one, which is, in my opinion, not very close. But I would argue that 64 is more important, but it's not one I want to make my bet on or anything because they're close.
I can see an argument.
Argue that Super Mario.
I think Super Mario 64.
I'm gonna argue Super Mario.
It was the first successful 3D game, in my opinion. Like it actually wasn't broken. A lot of stuff on the PlayStation that came out was broken. A lot of that stuff is garbage. The Super Mario 64 did say, "Hey, we can do a 3D Mario, and we can do it pretty good." I know I call it a tech demo, but my wife just heard me say tech demo. I'm going to be in trouble. I'll be sleeping on this couch tonight, I think. But obviously, I think it's a glorified tech demo. I think it's a lot better than a tech demo, but I don't have a lot of, and I guess you go back to nostalgia, I guess. I don't have a lot of memories from 64. I remember the camera being a little bit busted, and that's one of the reasons I'm not a huge fan of it. But it is good. It definitely earned its spot on the list, and the history of Mario is being important. But Super Mario Brothers 3, I mean, he just took Nintendo to another level. Like with everything it did, with the secrets, with all the power ups it put in, like Jared said, with all the power ups. I mean, they made a movie that was a commercial for Super Mario Brothers 3.
Exactly.
I mean, it took on kind of like a world of its own, like a life of its own. And I think you take that out, and I'm not saying Mario wouldn't be big. I think a big piece of Mario is missing from there. And as far as what makes these games fun, the personality, you know. So I just think Mario, in my personal opinion, Mario 3 is the most important Mario game to ever be put out. Even though I think World is better, I think Mario 3 is the most important.
If you think about all the platformers, the standard Mario game, Super Mario Brothers Wii, Super Mario World, 3 kind of set the stage for all that. The way the levels are all laid out, you have your midpoint castle and your castle after that, and then you have all your village points and your tunnels, and 3 was what started all that.
The map, like the world map, like the first Mario world map. So I just think it's super, super important. And I'm not down in 64. I'm not saying I'm not, I don't have enough of. Well, I'm not down in it. I'm not down in it. I just no, I'm not.
It's the tech demo. That's like.
Well, to me, it's a tech demo.
That's a huge put down.
I mean, it's a good game, but it's compared to the other ones, I just don't think it's that great. So
you need to play it more.
I mean, it's not better than Super Mario Brothers.
Okay. Is there any other list? Is there anything on the list, guys, that you kind of wish got in? Or
I do want to, and I'm not saying this, but I liked Mario Land 2, but it's kind of weird this mountain you guys are climbing for it to me. I went back and played it a couple of years ago, and I enjoyed it, but there wasn't anything that I came away thinking, oh man, that was special. So it's surprising to me. I'm not saying you're wrong, but it's surprising to me that that one came away as so special to you two, because it's okay, it's fine, but it's not anything to me that's like, oh man, that's a great Mario game. And this is purely nostalgia. I would prefer Mario Land over Mario Land 2, but that is pure nostalgia. I admit it. I'm not saying it's better. Personally, that would be how I would go.
Yeah, Mario Land 2, I think a lot of it has to do because it was so different. And I know it's not technically a Mario game, but I thought it was a gutsy move by Nintendo to take this Doki Doki Panic game.
No. Mario Land, the Game Boy game.
Oh, Mario Land. Okay, I'm sorry.
That's the one you guys were dying for, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that
Mario 2 I'm good with.
Okay. Mario Land is just so good. And I'm not saying that, and there is some nostalgia that I think it will. Like we said, this list is full of that. But I think that going back, because I actually bought it. It was one of the first Game Boy games I bought when I got the Retro Freak, because I can dump it and be able to play it. And I know it sounds weird to play Game Boy games on a big TV, but because they high-res it, actually looks pretty darn good, to be 100% honest. And I sat there and played it for like an hour. And it was just because I sat down, I was like, first of all, I remembered it, and it was very vivid. I was like, man, I remember playing this in the back seat. I remember playing this at home. I remember taking it everywhere and playing. I remember playing at my grandparents in Pikeville, Kentucky. I remember all that stuff. But I sat down, and I started playing. I was like, I forgot how good this was. Like, the controls were tight. The traditional kind of Mario gameplay. The levels are probably some of the most creative and somewhat absurd Mario levels I think you'll ever play, because it just oozes with personality. And I think personality in games is a little bit overlooked. And I think it was just so different, but it was still Mario. It wasn't like Mario 2 that kind of did everything different, and it didn't really seem like a Mario game. This one seemed like a Mario game, but it took a lot of cues from Mario 3, even some of the weirdness of Mario 2 as far as just the overall change, like the tone change. I thought everything. It's almost, to me, I wish I could have justified putting it higher, because what it was behind, it definitely earned to be behind it. But I think that as far as one of my, if you look at like all-time favorite games, as far as Mario or anything, I think it's up there. It's just a very good Mario game. And Andrew, I think you dig it. I think it's very much a game that I could see Nintendo at some point doing like a Metroid 2, like they did with the 3DS, kind of redoing that game and bringing that world and bringing those worlds and stages to a newer audience and redoing it, remaking it. Because I would love that. I think it's a great game. I think it's better than Mario 2. I think it's better than the original Mario. I think I would put it above both of those. Just me personally. I did so.
Has anybody played Lost Levels?
God, Lost Levels is so hard.
That's what I was gonna say. It is really hard.
I was doing like some write-ups on why I liked the game when I was doing my rankings, and they didn't bring that over here because they thought it'd be too hard for the Western gamer, and I think they were right because that game is just ridiculously hard. I mean, you have to be a warped mind to take such a good game like the first Super Mario Brothers, and then do everything backwards, like give you a death mushroom that you have to avoid, and giving you those ridiculous jumps that are like razor thin platforms. I mean, it's just hard.
It was designed not to troll, but kind of to troll the people who have been playing the crap out of the original. Mm-hmm. That's why the very first play, that hit box that you hit that looks exactly the same as the one in regular Mario that had the mushroom in it, had the poison mushroom in it. It's like, this ain't your grandma's Mario Brothers. Like, this is a new world you're living in here.
The Lost Levels is like the first Mario on acid. It's basically how I describe it. I mean, it's just such a weird game. It's just such a hard game. We when we went and visited Shauna's brother the first time, we weren't even married then, I don't think, and we played the Lost Levels for like 3 hours, and I swear we barely beat like level 2. It was so hard, but we had fun because it was like, oh man, look what I almost made it. It's definitely an achievement if you can beat that game.
Lost Levels are what the abuse of save states were designed for.
Exactly. Yeah. Speaking of Mario All-Stars, that's obviously not on the list because it's a Mario collection, not necessarily a Mario game. But I will say this. I think what they did with those games visually is really good, and I really actually prefer playing the first one on All-Stars because of the way it looks. I'm just throwing that out there. I just think it looks really cool how they kind of redesigned everything on that one. Just overall,
I can try that. I haven't done that.
It's cool. I mean, and they do just enough. Like they still leave. It's just that they flesh out that world a little bit more, and it just looks better. And it's like a fresh coat of paint type of thing. I think it just works out really well.
But it works really good with 3 too.
Yeah, 3 2. Yeah, I agree. All right, guys.
I just remember one that got omitted that. And I anticipated this one not making it, but no love for Mario Sunshine, guys.
I didn't play it.
I played it and beat it. I really liked it, but some of the other games I thought were just better.
I mean, it's fair.
Did anybody put Paper Mario on here?
Yeah, Jared did.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, okay.
One of the Paper Marios. Yeah.
That's the 3DS game I played. The RPG was Mario, the one where Mario and Luigi with Paper Mario, whatever that, I can't remember.
Oh, the new one, that Color Dash or Color Splash or whatever. Was that it?
No.
Okay, I'm completely wrong then.
I don't know. I was going to look it up. It's not really that important, I don't guess. Anyway, that's the one that I played, was the one that has both regular Mario and Paper Mario in it. That's the RPG series. But anyway, Sunshine had some cool levels that were in it. I don't know how much in depth you really need me to go. I was sad. I wasn't surprised to see it not make it. I liked it quite a bit, but
I had it on my original list, and then I kept finding all these other Mario games that I had played, and it just kept getting bumped back.
That's fair.
I do want to play it. I know that there's been rumors the Switch is going to do GameCube games, and they did an update that you can actually use it to use it with your GameCube controller, which tells me it's probably on the way. If they do release that, I would definitely play it because I had it for the GameCube for a while. I ended up selling it because I kind of want to just concentrate on cartridge games. But if it does come to the Switch, I'll definitely give it a whirl because it's really differing opinions, man. The Giant Bomb did a playthrough of it, and Dan Reichert loves it. He defends it to the death that Sunshine is a great Mario game. and it's just like it's either you love it or people hate it. Like there's really no in between. I know some of the people complain about the controls and some of the stuff in it, but he'll, he defends it to the grave because he thinks it's a great Mario game. So I'm definitely going to give it a whirl to see what I think about it.
It does take full advantage of that GameCube controller. I mean, you really have to be good with it to get through that game because some of those things are tough to beat. But yeah, it's a solid game.
Other than that, guys, I think the list is pretty good. I guess I gotta get a little bit of love the Super Mario 3D World. I really, me and Shauna played that game quite a bit and then really liked it. I thought the 2-player stuff was really good on it. And I liked the world map. I thought the world map was kind of interesting how they kind of did that. But yeah, so there's our top
Mario Wii, the one with the 4-player co-op, probably would have been higher for me, but I only ever played with my 4 and 5-year-old nephews. So
that makes it rough.
Yeah, I would be in the middle of a jump that was a pretty difficult jump because I'm a higher level Mario player, and so I'd be in the middle of the jump and they'd get hit by something, which of course freezes the screen, and then my muscle memory would cause me to release the jump button, which would make me just plummet down in this. So it was pretty rage-inducing. So I probably would have liked it more had I played it with adults or not with anybody, but just by myself.
I think the one that I would have liked Sean actually beat the one, I guess it was the new Super Mario Brothers Wii U, I guess. She liked that one a lot, and I watched her play it quite a bit. I think I probably would have liked that one. It seemed pretty cool as far as level design and stuff. But I don't think anybody even voted for that one. It wasn't on my list because I didn't play it, but it seemed pretty interesting on that one.
I played it, but it didn't do anything to stick out in my mind. It was just kind of more of that new Super Mario.
Right.
Cloth.
Yeah, they really ran that in the ground. Yeah,
it was really exciting there when the first one came out, and then it was just kind of like, okay.
It almost became like Nintendo's Madden. Like it seemed like every year you got a new Super Mario Brothers Wii or Wii U or whatever. So, all right, so that's our top 10. Let's go over the list one more time. It's Super Mario World 3D. Super Mario World for Super Nintendo comes in with 33 points at number 1. Super Mario Brothers 3 for the NES at 32 points comes in at number 2. Super Mario Galaxy for the Wii at 24 points comes in 3rd. Super Mario 64 at 18 points for the Nintendo 64 comes in at number 4. Super Mario Galaxy 2 for the Wii comes in at 5 at 15 points. Super Mario RPG for the Super Nintendo comes in at 14 or comes in at number 6 with 14 points. Super Mario Brothers 2 for the Nintendo Entertainment System comes in at Super Mario Odyssey for the Switch comes in at number 7. Super Mario Brothers for the NES comes in at number 8. Super Mario Brothers 2 for the NES comes in at number 9. And Super Mario Land for the Game Boy comes in at number 10 with 11 points. So yeah, I think it's a good list, guys. I think there's definitely some good ones on there. Yeah, I think we did a pretty good job. Give yourselves a hand. Give yourselves a hand. Good job.
No, this list has an asterisk next to it.
Dude, you're gonna have to quit whining.
I will when you stop whining about Winter Soldier.
I'm not whining. I'm calling us wrong because not enough people had seen it.
That's true.
And I'm calling this wrong because not enough people played Odyssey, so it should be it.
Wrong.
Listen, guys, I won't stop you guys. This is becoming like an even more annoying version of ESPN First Take. So we're going to shut that off right now, and we'll just.
If you call me Stephen A, I will never be on this podcast again.
You guys can choose which one is Stephen A. So I think you're both sounding like it right now. So we'll just leave it at that. All right, so that's it. Top 10, and. By the way, Andrew, Shauna says that you win the argument for Mario Odyssey. So, and she's very mad at me about my tech demo for N64. So
we have to talk about that.
Maybe I was a little over harsh. Okay, guys, don't kill me over it. But
now, did they design a controller for one game? Absolutely. That does not make the game a tech demo.
That actually makes it go down the list because I hate that controller. So if that's the game that they designed a controller for,
that's
that
fair.
might knock it off the list.
That's fair. I'll give you that.
All right. Well, that's it for episode number 49 of the Monsters.
Go see Thor because it's the best Marvel movie since
Guardians
1.
Guardian. Hey, we all agree. Sweet.
Yeah, there you go.
Quick, close it out. Go, 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 go.
We will try if everybody can go see it or try to see it. Hopefully, maybe this weekend coming up, maybe I can see it. I don't know, but we'll try to do just a special podcast. We are going to start doing more of that. Like if we all go see a movie or if there's a TV series that we want to get into. Now that Jared has a Raspberry Pi, we may be doing maybe picking a retro game to play and do an episode or two on it. So definitely some cool stuff coming up. At least we hope we can get to coming up. So episode number 49 of the Monster Geek Podcast is maybe our most controversial episode yet. The Monster Geek Podcast. So that's our Super Top 10 or Super Mario Super Top 10 officially for the Monster Geek Podcast. I hope you guys enjoy it. For Andrew, for Daniel, for Yeti, and for Jared, I'm your editor-in-chief, Aaron, and we are out.